I got cucked by my classmate on our first date. We finish our drinks together, she says goodbye to her friend, and we head straight back to my car. At this point it was around 11:30 to 12 p.m. We get back to the car, I open the door for her again, and resume my playlist from before. I pulled out of the parking garage and asked her for the address. She put it into my phone. I asked, "What are y'all going to do together?" At which point she looked at me and chuckled. I said what, and she replied, "What do you think we are going to do?" My heart dropped. I didn't know what to do or say at the moment, so I just laughed. His house was only a few minutes away, so it didn't take us long to arrive. I parked the car, waiting for her to head inside. But she said, "Are you going to grab the door for me?" I thought to myself, am I really going to open the door for her after all of this has happened? A few seconds pass, I exit, walk over to her side, open the door, and reach my hand out to assist her. She tells me please don't leave me, I promise it won't be long. I tell her I'm not going anywhere. I see her smile at me as she gets closer. She leans in to give me a kiss on the cheek and then she hugs me. I watched her walk to his front door as I got back into my car. She knocks on the door, he opens it, she turns around and waves goodbye to me, and I wave back. I waited in my car, watching TikTok as time moved slowly. Periodically looking up at the clock and checking the time. She said it was only going to be a few minutes. I kept thinking. 15 minutes passed, then 30, and eventually it had been a whole hour. I noticed the porch lights turn on and the front door opens again. She walks back towards my car as I get out and open the door for her. She turns the light on and flips down the mirror, at which point I saw how messed up her hair was. Whilst driving to her house, I didn't know how to break the silence, so I said, "How was it?" At which point she went into extreme detail, especially about the size of his PP. He was so big you have no idea. It was the same size as my forearm. I'm so sore, I need to lay down when I get home, and so on. I jokingly responded, "He's probably way bigger than I am," to which she told me when we first sat next to each other in class she could tell how nervous I was and knew I had a small PP. I laughed, not knowing what to think about her statement. She asked me, "Okay, but actually how big are you?" My mind racing with thoughts, should I lie about it? Or tell the truth? She probably would find out either way, so I should just tell the truth. I started speaking nervously, "I'm about 6 on a good day," knowing that was a total overestimate, and she instantly laughed. She said, "Aw, that's cute," and again smiled at me, mesmerizing me. We arrive at her house, this time opening the door herself. Before she heads inside, she tells me how wonderful tonight was and that we can hopefully do it again sometime, to which I reply, "Sure, I'd love to." She walks to her front door, and I watch to make sure she gets inside safely. We had gone out multiple times after this experience, but I've never been cucked in the same way. When I would bring up how gorgeous she looks, she would quickly reject me by saying, "Thank you, but only big peepees can touch me." Something about the way she talked to me turned on much that I felt like I could see without even touching myself. Just the thought of her getting destroyed by a big peepee made me extremely atrony, and she could tell. She would bring it up more often and even talk about it in class, where my classmates could potentially hear her. TLDR, I went out drinking with a cute girl who sat next to me in class. She openly talked to another guy while we were on our date and convinced me to drive her to his house, wait for him to finish effing her, and drive her back home.